So I want to welcome everybody once again. So just a quick recap. I will have seen what people that attempted, people like Ifeanyi, it means you did something, but you were not willing to show us what you did. Or you just mastered the location, you did not write good. Mr. Ifeanyi. Okay, so let me assume he's not hearing me. All right, so like I was saying, please let's try and practice.
Sorry, hello, sir.
Okay.
I think my mic was off. I said I practiced.
Okay.
I can as well share my screen now.
Not now. That time has passed, but maybe then you have not joined when I was asking for that. But in between this class, I will ask again after some time. Maybe then you can show us what we have done to encourage others. All right, so a quick recapping on what we did last time. Remember that we started with the second class was focused on variable, mastering variable. That is how we can declare variable syntax. And I took my time to break it down that a variable has three sections. The naming section, which I explained the role, that is the identify each of these three parts, the name section, the assignment operator, and the value section. So we also talk about, though we used VS Code, but I'll be using PyCharm today. We're using PyCharm, like I told us that most of the classes will be on PyCharm, because that is, for those of us that are learning Python for application development, we are expected to use this IDE. So the last command we learned was how to check the number or how to count the value in a variable. And that was what Yomi was trying to do, that we just corrected. So just in case we have some persons who we are not in the last section because of internet connection issue, because I have 2 or 3 people like that. I said that they were not able to join properly.
Hello,
So,
sir.
yes.
Sorry for interrupting. Now, can you broaden your screen a little bit, because your screen is a little bit. Your write-up is tiny, so make it a little bit bold.
Can I confirm that from other persons?
Your PyCharm.
Let me confirm that from other persons first. Let me confirm that from other persons first. Is it the same thing? It might be your system setting. Or if we are more comfortable with Visual Studio, because Visual Studio, we're able to zoom. I think we're able to change the background as well. Let's just go and press that. Then.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have you now. Yeah.
So let me see if I can. I want to see if. So I was asking, is it the same challenge others are having? Because maybe his system.
Okay, we are with you, sir.
Okay, I'm coming, trying to set up the other ID so that see whether we can see what we did last time. Just give me 3 minutes to be ready. Yes. All right, so I'll try to recap what we did last time. Like I said, our focus was actually on variable. And at this point, I will assume that almost everybody here should know what variable is and the syntax. So just to quickly recap before we dive into tonight's topic, why this like I may have to go back to Visual Studio Code because I see this one is it's malfunction in this minute. So I have to continue with Visual Studio Code. So these are actually some of the things we did last time.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, but we are used to this PyCharm. You are drawing us back. Oh.
That is not, you are distracting the class, Oga. There's nothing like drawing you back. You can write your code everywhere. You don't distract the class. Just remain focused. Your code will remain the same. All right, so like I was saying, I know there are some people here that were having issue the other time, but at least I want to bring them to the same page, just to start with variable. So I will just give just one example and then we'll go into tonight's topic. Now, we did say that variables are used to hold value within a program. Variables are used to hold value within a program. They are containers that we programmers use to introduce or to save information in the program that will be needed or that will be needed during your programming. And I said to declare variable, you need to start with a name. And there is a principle or there are principles or rules that you need to follow when you are naming your variable. I said your variable should not be named with number. That is, it shouldn't start with number. And again, if you are using 2 words to name your variable, you should separate the two words with underscore. And then another rule is that I think I've mentioned the key rules. Number one, you shouldn't use a Python keyword. Number two, if you are joining two words, you either join them together. If you are going to leave any space, the space should be separated with either hyphen or underscore. So these are some of the basic rules for naming variable. So let's say, for example, we want to create a variable that's when the input function collects information from the user, that will store the value. So just part of what we did last time. So let's assume that user name is the name of a variable, and then we want to collect certain information from the user and store the name in this variable. So we will use the input function, which we also talked about in our last class. So we say input function. So what do you want to receive from the user? We want to receive their name. So I'll create a question. Remember, I said anything text should be put in the quotation, either single quote or double quote is accepted. So I will just simply say, what is your name? What is your name? Right? So now that is a variable, but we are using an input function, which we discussed in the last class, to collect the information, because at this point, we are assuming that we don't know the person's name. So the next thing I want to do, which was the length. So we also talk about a function called what? Length. So this function is to help us to count how many characters are in the user's name. So I am storing that in a different variable. And I'm going to say len and capture the user. In other words, count the value in the username. Count the value in the username. Then I can now print the length. So I'll say print the length variable. So with this, if I run the code, let's run and confirm the outcome. So you are asking the user, what is your name? So let's say the user says his or her name is Prosper, and press enter, and then it counted it to be what? 7. So I think what I did here now is to split the concepts, because what we did the other time, we wrote everything like the one that Yomi was trying to show us. We wrote everything in one line. But what I've done here now is that I have to break it down by, first of all, collecting the user's name, store it in the variable, then create another variable called length, and then count what is in the user's name, and then finally printing the length. So this is another concept if you don't want to write everything in one line. All right, so for those that were not in the last class, I believe with this little illustration, you should be able to know what is variable. So the whole of this is the variable name. The whole of this is the variable name. Why this is the variable is the assignment operator. Why this is the value. Remember, I said a variable is made up of 3 sections. Sorry. Remember, I said variable is made up of 3 sections. The name section, the assignment, the equal sign there, since it's single equal sign, is an assignment. It does not mean equality. While whatever that comes after the equal sign is the value that you are assigning to the variable. All right, so now let's look at the new topic for this section, which is okay, what I'm going to do is that let's do a simple project with the variable concept we have learned so far. Let's say we want to do something real so it will sync better, because most time when you are learning this, we need to apply them to some real life scenarios so that you can understand what they can be used for. So for example, we want to create, let me use comments to explain that. So let's say we want to create an app, and the work of this app is to welcome someone name, and then we'll collect the person's name first, and then we'll also collect the person's city. So just like you are asking the person, what is your name and the city you are from. So let's say we want to build a simple app like that using the variable concept and the input function we have learned so far. So let me name it band name generator. So this is just like what I want to achieve. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to print, I'll say print welcome to the band, welcome to the band name generator. Now, we just talked about variable now. So what do I want to collect? I'll start by, I want to ask for the person's city. So city will now become a variable. So since I want to capture the person's city, then I'll have to use the input function. So I'll put input, which, so I'm asking a question, which city did you grow up in? So I'm asking this question. Once this information is given, it will be stored in city. So the next one, I'll say, okay, I want to add pet is another variable. And what do I want to collect here? So I'm still going to use the input function. So for that, I'll say, what is the name of a pet? What is the name of the pet? Now, so which means that this one is just to welcome the person to your project. And then here you start by asking the question, collecting the city the person grew up. And then here you are also asking what is the person's favorite word, pet. And then after that, you have to print this and this. So in that case, we are going to do the concatenation that I taught us last time. So I will say print. I'll say print. So the app will say your band name could be. Now here we have to call, we have to reference the variable where you have stored the city, sorry, the city and the pets, which is what we are saying that, okay, based on what will have been collected, your band name could be. So how do we concatenate that? So here we are going to come outside. Remember that we talked about concatenation. which is usually implemented with plus. So I will say plus because I want to call a value from one of our variables. So I will call city because we have a value that has been collected and stored in city. And then after city, I would like space. I wouldn't want the city and the pets to be joined together. So for that, like I taught us last time, you concatenate empty space. And how do you achieve that? Put plus again, and then empty word string. And then before you concatenate with plus again, the next variable, which is what? Pet. So by the time we print this now, this is an app we'll be able to what? Implement. So let's print it and see what we get. So I have, what is your name? Okay, let me comment this section. So I will just focus on the one we just did now to avoid confusion. So welcome to the band name generator. So you click, which city did you grow up? I'll say, okay, let's say Lagos. Press enter. What is the name of a pet or your favorite pet? I'll say, okay. I'll say, let's say rats. Once you hit enter, you see that what? Your band name could be what? Lagos place. So this is just a simple logic to further concrete or further understand the concept of variable. So you can see how I collected series of information with the variable and I was able to print them out. So for those that have joined with laptop, I'm going to give us 3 minutes to try this. And then I will just check only one person's phone and then move on. The next person, maybe when I observe another break, I will ask you to show your work. So 3 minutes for those that join with our laptop to try what I just did now. You can give us something equivalent to this. Is allowed. So your 3 minutes start counting. So while that is going on, if you are not with your laptop and you have question, you can ask within this same 3 minutes. So who is working? Who is working? Please somebody should indicate if he or she is working. Who is working? If I should be working with your PyCharm, should be working. If you are working, so that I can allow you to share your screen, let others that are not with their laptop can watch what you are doing. If I have someone else who is also working, please kindly indicate. And for those that are not joining with our laptop, please make sure that you write some of these things down so that when you later you can sit down and try them. If you have any question, you write them down. Then tomorrow's session you can bring them, but make sure that you join on time so that you can make use of the question and answer section. Do I have anybody who is coding here? So I'll wait until I get a response.
Yes, I'm trying.
Okay, please, can you share your screen, please? Let others. Or maybe before you share your screen, just take a picture of what I have on the screen if you have not written it down. Because I'll stop sharing so that I can see what you are doing.
Hello, sir. I've already shared my screen now. Have you not accepted?
You did not speak out now when I say if I.
No. My mic is this thing now.
All right.
It's mute.
I think we are on your screen now.
Okay, can you see it? Hello, class. Are you following?
So what you will do, give us a different concept from this.
Okay. Should I run the code?
Yes, you have already done what I did. I'm saying that you should give us a different concept. Just think of something else that you can achieve with this code. You
Okay.
might not be asking the person for the pets, but just ask for something else.
Okay.
So since you have already done it, let me go on Mr. Yomi's screen. So you can stop sharing your screen. Let me switch to his own while you are doing what I say you should do now. Please, Mr. Yomi, please, let's see your screen. Mr. Yomi, if you can hear us, please. Okay, I think it's coming now. It's coming. Okay. Okay. So you are still writing. Go ahead. Please order those that are not here with their laptop. This is an opportunity for you to see what others are doing. Then I would advise you to be jotting down some of these things, if not all. It's very important to practice. Remember that we are taking note of students who are performing in the class.
Is it okay like this?
Okay, what is the output?
I've not run it.
No, I think I can see some error there. What's error?
Okay.
Try and debug those error.
Okay.
So once you see that red underline, it means something is not properly done. So you look at your variable, you created a city, you created game, and you say your band name could be game plus this media name that you are bringing is not a variable. Good. I think this should be the right way, but you have only two variables there. I think this should be the right way. Go ahead and run it like the lesson. Okay. No, you have to comment the code we are running now is not for counting. I'm still seeing the result of your learn. Did you envelope learn? I don't think you used learn. Maybe one of your code. Oh, okay. I think it's out. All right. So at least some persons have given it a trial. So the rest, please make sure that you practice. So I'll say come back to this. All right, so now let's introduce the new topic. Let's introduce the new topic.
Sir, please,
Okay.
before you go, before you introduce the new topic, I inputted everything, all my code are perfect, but when I run it, it's not showing on the
Please share your screen. Let's
new
see.
project.
Share your screen. Let's see. It's coming up. Okay, you said something is not running. Please, if you can increase your screen as well. Increase that window a little so that we can see it better. Where the code? Where is the code you are trying to execute? From where to where? Let's know.
From this print, welcome print.
What you do is that some of those things you should have commented them out so that we can focus on only the current code you are writing.
Okay.
So that we will know. But we're having too many results there.
Okay. That is the reason why the thing is not coming up, huh?
Because it will run the code from top, so that we'll be able to concentrate on the particular one you are running. And whatever result we are seeing now, we know that is for that one. That is the essence of commenting them out. Okay, so now run it again. Click on that red button first to stop the entire.
Yes,
click on the red button. Click on the red button.
Let me just comment on this one. Sorry, sir. 1 minute. Okay.
It's coming now. All right.
No, it's coming now.
All right. Okay, so let's proceed, please. Let's proceed. So we are going to start a new topic, and we will continue with the topic tomorrow. So let's quickly look at introduction to, let's say, data type. Data type in Python program. Data type in Python program. So what do we mean by data type? If you remember the very first class, I mentioned some of these things, that every programmer needs information to program. You need data to program. The program we have written so far, the variable, you can see even from here, we have worked with what? Information. But there are some of us that do not know why we are putting some of them and why we are not putting some, because we do not know the different type of data we are using. Because if we know, we will not know the rules that govern us when using them in programming. So if we are to put it in proper definition, we can say data type in programming are different kind or type of information that a programmer uses in programming. They are different types of information a programmer uses in programming. And like I said, there is no programmer that can program without data. So that is to tell you that it is very important to understand data types across order, not just for Python. Most of these data types I'm going to discuss, they are also applicable in other programming languages. So what is our objective? What is our objective for learning this? Number one, you will learn how to build a simple calculator. Once we are done with this, we are going to learn how to build a simple calculator. And then we will be able to create a welcome, let's say a summary. We'll use what? A simple calculator, maybe like for calculating, maybe NEPA bill and all of that. You want a system or an app that calculates maybe certain value. Let's say NEPA bill. Let's say you have in a compound, there are 5 persons using a particular meter, and to avoid argument, we want to know the percentage that each of them are expected to pay. So you are building this app to address that. What I'm saying is that for us to be able to achieve this, we need to understand different data type in order for us to flow with it. So to start, so we're going to look at the len function, which we have already done before. Now, why I am going to do that is for you to know that when you violate certain rules, because you are working with a particular data, then you might get error. So for example, now, if I print just an example, so you know why what we want to learn is important. Let me comment this so that we can focus on what we are writing at the moment. So let's say I have prints. Let's say I have prints, and then len, because I want to count. We just finished talking about len now, and I say hello. Now, because it's a string, I have to put it in quotes as usual. So if I run this, it's going to count 5, which means I have 5 characters in hello. Now, what about if we try to print something like this? If we try to print something like this, let's say len, and then I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's run it. You see Python generated error. Why? Because it's having issue identifying the type of data you are programming. So, but when you understand data type, you now know the reason why Python is objective. So let's look at the key error. What is the complaint there? The complaint there is type error is that objects of type ints has no len. So this is number. Remember I told us that when you create a number without putting it in the single or the double quotes, Python will capture that as a number. But if we want it to be seen as string, we need to what? Quote it. We need to quote it. So that is the issue. So why I have to illustrate this? For us to debug this, we need to understand data type, because we are evaluating a certain word rule of Python that says that the len function you are using is not applicable in what counting number. So maybe if you make it a string, for example, if I come here and put it like this, that is right now I am converting it to what? To a string, then it will be able to what? Count it, because right now adding that put, that single quote, has changed the type of data as far as Python is concerned. So just to look at the data type, the entire data type in Python can be divided into two. We have the primitive data type, and then we have the composite or the multi-structure data type in Python. So remember I said under data type, we have data type, we have primitive, and let's say advanced, because the word primitive means what? Primary, basic data type. And the basic data type, they are the inbuilt data type almost in all programming languages. So which means that, let's look at the example of them. Example of primitive or primary. Primitive or primary data type. So we have the first one. We have string. So let me just read the command. We have integer. Then we have floats. Then we have boolean. So these are, and we can add undefined, or null. So these are the basic Python data type. And as beginners, we need to learn how to work with these basic data type, because like I said, they are the inputs. They are already in the program memory. So you should be able to know how to communicate them. So the best way I'm going to be communicating them is to relate them with some real examples so that we can really understand the logic behind speaking this data type. So for example, string is the collection. Let's start with the string. String is the collection of character. So in programming, once we hear string, it means what? The collection of character. Character means the unit alphabet, like A is a character, B is a character. So when you put them together, that forms what? A string. That is what we are simply saying. So now with that understanding, so for example, if I write print hello, all right, print hello. Now the hello is a string because it's a text. And like I told us before, each of these data type has principle, has rules that bind us as programmer when relating with them. So if you want Python to say or to identify a data as a string, it must be in the quotation, either with single or the double. Now, let's assume that I do something like this. I think in the last class, I explained something like this. I may not know whether it's your class. Now, if you apply something like this, this is just like you are saying, you want to print out the first character in that word string, the first character in that string, because in programming, value or characters are always count it from the left-hand side. From the left-hand side, though we refer to that as the right-hand side. Now, where the very first item is at 0 index. So the what we call indexing in programming. Indexing means that I thought I've illustrated something like this. If I want to know the number that is representing, because each of these characters has numerical what? Positioning. So where the first one is always at 0, and the second one is at what? 1. Then the third one will now be 2. And then the next one will now be 3. And then the next one will now be 4. But this is positive counting, positive indexing. So I can refer to this as positive what? Indexing, where you are counting from the right-hand side, or let's say left-hand side. Now, if you want to start counting from the left-hand side, that is negative what? Indexing. So the only thing that will happen is that you will now, if I want to print out this 0 here, it will now be what? -1. Please, when you are counting from the right-hand side towards the left, we don't have 0. We can only have 0 when you are counting from the left-hand side towards what? The right. So let's print this and understand what we are trying to picture here. So if I print this, let's see what happened. You see that what? It printed out what? Only what? H out of the entire what? String. So if I want to print, E. So it's going to be what? 1. It's going to be 1. So if I run it, it will print out what? E. So that is just for you to understand something here. Now, like I said, if I want to print from this side, from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, that will be recognized as negative index. So you just add what? Minus in front. So that will print what? 0. So if I run it, that will print what? 0. So it's just for us to understand that we have what we call indexing, which means that what? The item in a string or in a variable has numerical what? Positioning. So with that, if we have something like I said, I'll be using a practical example to explain this. So now let's go to this. I'm trying to illustrate the string. So if we have something like this, the last time that we printed number, it was not recognized as number. Remember, it was not recognized as number. So now, if we want, for example, we have something like this, 1, 2, 3, and then we concatenate by using the plus, and then we have another string, let's say 3, 5, 3, 4, 5, with any number. So what do you expect? Now, why we are having this error is because that is error of indentation. Remember, I explained to all the other time, always start your printing from the right indent. Now, you know, one would have expected that this will add this together and give us maybe a value. But if you run this code now, look at what you have. It joined them together. So there was no mathematical what? Calculation or expression there. That is because Python sees this what? As a string. So that is actually what we are talking about. So now we understand string, that anything string is text, and it must be in a single quote or double quote. That is the first take home there. Now let's talk about the integer so that we'll not come back to this. Let's talk about integer as the next data type. Integer as the next data type. Now, integer are numbers. Integers are numbers, and we can divide integer into 2. We have it as, so let me say a number data type, so that, let's put it this way, number. So the second one is number what? type, number data type. So under number data type, we have integer. We have integer, which means whole number. So in programming, when you hear a programmer using the word integer, what he or she say is what? A whole number. A number without a decimal units. For example, we can say e.g., we can say 90 is integer, 80 is an integer, 60 is an integer. So under number data type, we have two, either an integer or floats. Sometimes we call float double. And there's a reason why we refer to it as double. So let's look at the definition. Float number are numbers with decimal units. For example, 90.5 is a float number. The type of number, but it's under what? Float. Now, like I said, sometimes some material will refer to it as double. Why? Because you can separate them. This is just like 2 in 1. Because the 90 can be written as what? 90.0. And then the 5 can be written as 0.5. So that is why most time some people will say double. So this is, now let's look at the example that will also enable us to understand how to work with number as a data type in Python. So for example, if we have print, and then I have that same thing that we tried to do the other time, which is the, we're trying to print, so and I put plus here, and then I say 3, 4, 5. So if I run this code, what do I get there? You can see that what? It added the number. This is not a string, and we got an output. Look at the output we have here, 468. Right? Just because they are not in the string, they are not in the quotation. So Python sees them as what? Numbers. All right. So now we also have under number, but most time some material do not talk about it. We have large number. Large number is a number that have maybe infinite, like maybe like 3.3333, very large number. So let me just explain that. Most time we don't talk about it, but let me talk about it here. So we also have large what? Large integer. We have large integer. So which one is large what? Integer. So that you understand, because when you are reading some material under number, you'll be seeing floats, you'll be seeing large, or they are all number. So for example, like I said, if I print, trying to use example so that you can understand it. So if I have this, and then let's say I put a comma, and then I have a 4, 5, 6, I put a comma, and then I have 7, 8, 9. So this is a large number. So if you print this, let's say this, you see what you have. It will remove the comma. So when you have a number like this, it's referred to what? As large number. You can, if you don't want to put comma, you can put underscore, which will interpret it to be the same with what you did before. So you can put underscore so that it will merge them together. Now we are going somewhere. So all this illustration, we are going to do something so that we understand. Now for the float, so that you know that floats, let's look at it here. So I can tell Python to print, what we like with now. If I say print, looking at the scenario, okay. So let's say, okay, so like I said, I think I've explained float. Let me waste time on that. I'll still refer to it. So float is once you have a number with what? Decimal units. So now what we want to do, we have our Boolean as another basic data type. Remember where I listed them. I'm trying to touch all of them. We talk about string, so I believe you know what string is now. Talk about floats, that is integer, floats, they are under number, and then Boolean. So Boolean is another basic data type in Python, which has just two values, true and false. True and false. Now, the best way we can illustrate this is, let me comment this. We want to test the Boolean values using an expression. So let's assume that I have a variable holding 90. Then I have another variable, let's say f, holding 70. So I want to check the Boolean.
Thank you.
Sorry, somebody was saying something. I was asked before. Please, can you repeat what you were saying? Somebody was saying something before I rejoined. I was asked before. I didn't hear that well. Hello. Okay. Now I was hearing a voice. Okay, so I'm trying to verify. We are trying to check how Boolean. I want to check Boolean. Now we have a variable holding 90. We have a variable holding 70. So let's assume that we want to test Python sensitivity. So I can say print s is greater than f. Print s is greater than what? F. So we are going to get a Boolean value. So which will be what? True or false? True or false? Then if I change this operator, because that's going to be the next topic now, to less than. So which means you are telling Python that x is less than what? F. So you and I know that s is storing 90 and f is storing what? 70. Definitely we are going to get what? False. So let's test that. So we have false. So this is one way we can verify Boolean. Like I said, Boolean is also one of the Python basic data type that has just two values. Do we have questions on what we have done so far? I just need one person to ask question. If there's no question, I will assume that now as we proceed with the program, anytime I use the word string, you understand the type of data we are talking about. Anytime I use the word number or integer or floats, you understand what we are talking about in programming. Anytime I use the word Boolean, you also know
What of the number with square? What do we call that one?
Number with
Maybe raised to power 2, maybe 2 raised to power 2.
2 raised to power 2. That is exponential. That falls under exponential, but they are still under number. I don't know if I've answered. That is Yomi, right? Is that Yomi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have undefined. Undefined or null is when you declare a variable without assigning a value. That is when you are going to get undefined. I think there is need for us. I thought I have already done that before. The need for us to do it again so that you understand whenever you you run your code and you get undefined. You now know the area of your code you are to debug. So let's say we want to look at undefined briefly. Now, if you declare a variable, let's say like this, you put equals to, you did not complete this variable, and then you now want to print A. You now want to print A. So definitely you are going to get either not defined or invalid syntax. So, but because you have gone a little bit beyond just declaring a variable, because we have added that assignment, so it has already beyond undefined. So let me remove this and just run this code. So look at it. The error you are going to get now is what? Name A is not what? Defined. Name A is not defined. So once you get a value like this in your error, as a programmer, it tells you where to what? To check. It means, oh, there could be it means Python is looking for a value. There could be a variable, so you now quickly check, and which is what this is. So that is undefined. Now, if there's no question, we look at how do we check data type in Python. All these Boolean, number, integer, floats. So that one again, string. How do I know that Python is actually recognizing them as I am assuming? So that is the next topic. That is what? How to check. All these are still under basic data type. How to check our data type so that we know whether what we are saying is correct. So for example, now we have created a series of variables here. So let me just create another one. So if I say name one, and then I say this Prosper. So let's assume I want to check what type of data is Prosper that is in this variable name one. So there is a Python function which we use. So let me put it here using dot type. So this is the function you use in checking the type of data stored in a variable or you are working with. So I'll simply say print because I want to see it. Print. Then I will now say type. Type the type. And then just like you are nesting a function in another function. So you supply the container with the value you want to check it type, which is what? Name one. So if I run my code, I should be able to get the class. Look at the class is what? String, str, which means that Python has actually recognized it as what? String. So let's also check for another one. So let's say I have X. Okay, let's check. We have some variable here already. Let's say I want to check what type of data is this. So I can just remove this and then put S there and then run it. So let's check. That is what? Integer. So if you also want to check for floats, so let me make this float number, let's say at 90.6. And then if I run it now, you see that what? It will see it as floats. So the emphasis is you just have to know that there is a function called type that can always help you to check the type of value. So I hope that is clear. Let me just hear from at least one person before I look at the next task.
Yes, it's clear.
All right. And let me give us 2 minutes to try. Those that are on their laptop, please just try within 2 minutes, try to play around some of these things. I hope somebody is trying. Is anybody trying so that we can come on your screen? Just for 1 minute. I have a lot of persons here, and it seems some people are not trying at all. I'm only hearing from Yomi and Ifeanyi. The rest, what is happening? Matthew, you are not doing anything. Jim, I have a lot of persons here. Betray, Ola, Fabeku, Moses. Does it mean that we are not doing anything?
Actually, I'm using my system is not
Oh, yeah. How would you?
with me. I normally do it later
Okay.
after the classes.
Okay. All right, which means that tomorrow you show us what you have done. When I ask, since you normally do it later, please. We need to know what you are doing. We want to measure your progress. We want to know those that are practicing. All right, so because of time, let's proceed. Let's proceed. So now we want to look at a kind of a subtopic, which is called type conversion. And it's very important we understand this as Python programming, type conversion. Type conversion. So what it simply means is what? Data type. Data type what? Conversions. Now, data type conversion is also known as, in Python, is also known as casting. Python casting. So if you hear a Python programmer using the word Python casting, it means the person is what? Converting. For example, converting string to what? To number. Converting a number to what? To int to string. So there are times when you are building app. At some points, you have to bring in casting. You need to you have to cast a particular word data type so that it can work. For example, just to explain, we did one the other time and it gave us error just because if we had known casting, we would have been able to what? To convert it to what? Integers so that it can add it. So just to reflect it again, we did something like this the other time. And this was exactly what we did. We did 1, 2, 3, and then I concatenated it with another set of number like 4, 5, let's say 7. You know, if you run this code, it's going to join them together. But our intention is to add the values together. But because they are enveloped in a string, remember, anytime I use the word string, I'm talking about what? Whatever you have in the code. So if we still want Python to what? To give us the addition instead of concatenation, then we have to cast it. We have to cast this string. That is conversion, which means that we have to convert, because ordinarily, based on the result we just got now, Python sees this as what? String. And it sees this as what? String. So when you added this plus, it means that you are saying that what? Join them together, which we refer to as concatenation. But if I still want to get the mathematical calculation, that's what, add this value to this. Even with the way it's surrounded with what? With the string, without you writing it as a number. So you must have knowledge of casting. So what you are going to do now, let's do that same thing. So you must know some of these basic data types, they are casting function. So what we are going to do is to cast it. So let me use comment for those that are writing. Now, to cast, the above code to perform maths calculation instead of concatenation. So we will simply say print. Now, we want Python to see them as number, right? So we will now look for Python integer cast function. So what I'm going to do inside the print, I will now put them in int, like this. Int. Then I will now bring in that same number 1, 2, 3. What I'm doing right now, I'm converting string to number using the casting using integer casting function. So the same thing, once you have done this, remember that, in other words, this is for this int. So you come outside here, not inside here. You bring in your plus, which means concatenation. So you say that you want to also cast another string to become number. So I'll put that also 4, 5, 7. So if I run this code, it's going to give me mathematical calculation. What has made Python to see it as number instead of string? Because you casted it with the int, which is the integer function. I hope that is clear. This is very important because there's a final project that this will lead to, which is that calculator that I told you. But we need to understand all this before we can build that calculator. Any question on this? Let me get a response from at least one person.
It's very clear, sir.
All right. Now we can also, if you try something like this, let's do more of the conversion. Now there will be error if you try printing something like this. So let's say the int, then I want somebody to factor this out for us while we're getting that error. Let's say ABC. And then you now do plus ints, and then let's say 476. So if we run this code, we get an error. We get an error that says this. So can anybody tell us why we are getting that error?
I think it's because they are string.
Because this is what? You can see it has even good. It has even highlighted. It has highlighted this as the error. All right. So now your task, I'm going to do something now. Your task is you write the same code over there just to solidify what we are learning. Because programming is about implementation. It needs to be trying things out. So this particular code, if we have to correct it to avoid, let me bring it back. Let me see whether somebody can give us an idea. What do you think we should do to avoid this error? Can anybody tell us the reason why we are getting that error? I think you have said it, Mr. You may have said it. Well, let's debug it. Who can tell us what to do to solve this problem? Because the error definitely is from this angle, not here.
We have to change the ABC to number.
We have to change the ABC to number. Okay, I don't want to change the ABC to number, but I want it to print. I want it to print the value. I want to print this value instead of telling me error. It should print it together with this. Oh yeah. Let's try. This is testing our debugging.
Can we use print a bit collection of characters?
Who is talking? Is it Yomi?
Yes.
Okay. Whether we can do what?
Use string collection of characters where we use a low in brackets 0 that time, use -1, and other things. If possible.
No. That cannot solve. Any other idea? Keep checking.
My idea is this, if you want to print the ABC with the 476 together, that means you have to remove the integer.
From where?
Then, like, where you say print, you will not put integer again.
So which means that I will remove this integer here, will?
Yes.
Of this one. So I will run it,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
I should run it like this. Is that what
No,
we are
you still
saying?
remove the other integer as well now. The other integer as well.
No, we are not removing. Okay, I'll remove this integer.
Uh-huh.
No, we don't want to tamper with this place. That is a debugging task.
No, I think it's correct like this. Let's run it like this.
Okay, okay. Error is in fact, it has extended the error now to both sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
I think what will happen is this: we have to remove the quotation mark on that ABC.
Okay.
The quotation.
Okay. We remove the quotation from this ABC. I don't
Yes,
want
sir.
to see. I don't want us to tamper with this and this.
Okay.
How do we make this code run without throwing error? You should concatenate this
Okay.
value. Yeah, it's not give us a kind of maybe plusing this, but at least we display it
Okay.
ABC and this.
Okay. Then we have to add a string instead of integer in this double bracket
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
No, sir. No, sir. We have deleted the integer before.
here we
I'll add string there. Yes.
str, right?
Yes, sir.
Or should I type it in full?
No. It's okay like this.
Okay, so how far we are still getting? Look at what it's saying here. Not int towards this. So the error is still there. We is trying again. This is serial debugging. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Which other one again we can tamper with? Without changing this, I don't want us to tamper with this. I don't want us to tamper with this. I'll make this code display. That is what we are debugging. You are free to tamper with this. You are free to tamper with this.
So can't we tamper with the integer in the center?
This one here.
Yes.
Yeah, I said yes. I said don't tamper with this. Don't tamper with this.
Then
So you
remove
can-
this integer that is string now and run the code now. It will be okay now. Remove that integer.
Remember that we are casting. Oh, we don't want to print them without casting based on the topic. Conversion. So there must be one of the casting function. If you are removing integer, just like the way it suggested that we should remove integer here, we replace it with what? String. Are you saying that we should remove this one and put something else there, or we should remove it totally and run it with one casting
Remove-
function?
Put another string again now.
That you put another string here like this. That is
Yeah.
like this, have it? And
Mm.
then run it.
Mhm.
Perfect. So perfect. So
It works.
yes.
Okay.
So at least I just want to know whether we are following.
Mm.
Now, which other thing again I want us to look at? Let's quickly look at some
Because of the off and on, I want to extend the class with 20 minutes because we started late and my system went off. Is it okay by us? I know some of us, we have program, we have things we want to do. Is it okay? I want to extend it by 20 minutes. Can we?
Yeah. We are cool. Right on.
Let me get response from 2 more persons.
Programming is not for the weak. Right on, sir.
Can I get more response from another person?
We can extend it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's proceed. So now let's look at what we call operators. It's a different topic. So now we are through with basic data type and how to work around them, particularly the string, the number, the boolean. Now we want to look at what we call.
But why this one carry string? You didn't explain it now.
Yes, we are trying to balance everything. So we, in as much is surrounded with the quotation, and we cast it with the string. Python will no longer see this as number. We see this as character or text. The same thing here. So we are trying to convert this one because this one ordinarily is a string based on the type, the words we have there. So we are trying to okay, let's convert this that ought to be number to this so that the concatenation can work. So if we put here now a number, remember we did something like that. This one that I commented out. These are both numbers. These are both numbers. That is why we put int here, and the Python perform what? Calculation, instead of just what? Joining them. But here, we now put what is ordinarily known as a string, that is character. Then we now want to perform calculation. So the only thing we can do here is to join them together. And to join them together, in order to print AB, ABC, and what? 4, 7, 6, is for us to make all of them string. So that is the reason why we added string here, and then we added string here, which means that see this as a string, see this as a string. So the person that asked the question, I hope I've answered you. So I was only trying to test our knowledge on this casting.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
So like I said, let's look at some mathematical operation. All these are to expose us to the language. All these basic things that we are doing that look basic, when we start building some complex app, you will see how they will be playing out. That's why I'm actually interested in us spending some time to understand them. So for example, if we have something like, just to record from the last class, so let's say we have something like this. Then I have, let's say my age plus my age plus let's say 12, or let's put it string str, and I put 12 there. So if I print this, it prints what? My age is 12. Now, what I did here now is that I converted a number to a string, because here, for having this in the quotation, that is string already. So, and I don't want it to see this as a number. So I
casted it with what? The string method. But we are going somewhere. Now, if I have, so these are the operation that we want to illustrate here. If I have, we are doing for addition now. We've done that before, so let me just do this one sharp. And then I say plus, let's say a number like this, and I print. So this is what? Addition. Remember, we talked about what? Mathematical operation. These are also possible. We are going somewhere. Now we'll try that. Then we can print, let's say 7 minus 3. Then I run it. That is for negative. That is for minus. So I'm just using this. Now we do for multiplication, just for you as a programmer with Python to know that Python can perform all these operations. Now we can have 3, then you use this. This is going to be your multiplication sign, not X, this asterisk. So if I run this, I get what? The multiplication. Okay, so now for division, you have this. Let's say I have 6 divide by 3. Then if I run it, I get what? An integer. Right? Then let's do for now. For division, if I have let's say I divide this by 4. I'm going to have a decimal number, which is floats. I'm going to have floats. Now, if you are asked to round up this number to 2, that is what, no matter how long it is, when you divide a number with another number and you have maybe 1.2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that, and you want to convert everything to integer, which means what? Whole number. So in the case of division, we have, if you want to divide and also round up the number to 1 digit, you use 2 of this. So this will divide and round up the number to what? To 1. Let's go to pick 1. So that is one thing you need to understand when it comes to division. So there are 2 of them. We have the single forward slash. We have the double forward slash. So remember that the single forward slash is where you divide and there's every possibility of you having a float type. Then to add the 2, it means whatever remainder will be what? Round up or approximated to what? To 1 number, which is, so we should take note of that. Now, if you check like this now, you want to really confirm whether this is a float. Now, if I print this, what generated that value, let's say print, and then I put type. Remember, I just taught us about type now. And I say 6 divided by 4. So if I print this, this is giving me what? Floats. This is giving me floats. Now, I'm going to print the same thing. I'll put the what? The double forward slash there, and then I print. So you can see that what is not giving me what? Integer. Because the moment you put it, it means that what you have just automatically converted a float to what? Integer. And integer means whole number. So these are some of the techniques we need to know. Any question on that? There's no question. And then we look at something else. I just wanted us. So I still have another one to print. Okay, let me just finish there so that we can ask your question if you have any. So if I have 2, for example, and I put 2 asterisk, just like the way we used to, 1 give us multiplication. So if I have 2 like this, this means exponential, just like what somebody asked the other time. So who can predict what the answer will be? Somebody should predict what the answer will be. Will the answer be 4 or what?
That will be 4.
That will be 4.
4.
Okay, let's print.
The answer will not be 4.
Okay, good. So now how did you got that 4? How did you got that 4? That is 2 times 2, right? That is 2 raised to power 2. That's what? 2 times 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. So if I have 3 here, and then I have 3 here, what would that one become? You can predict that?
9.
9.
9.
Is it 9? You said 9. Okay, check now. What did you got here?
It's 27.
So how did you got the 27? Can anybody break it down for us?
3 raised to power 3 will be 3 times 3 times 3.
Good. So that is what it means. If it is just 1, it's multiplication. Just like this technique is just like the division on. If it is 1, to give you 4. If it is 2, to give you what? Integer. So now we want to go complex a little. Now there's something I'm going to show us here. Let's say we have something like this. We have something like this. We have 3. We have 3 times 3, right? And then we have plus 3 divided by 3, then minus 3. Can anybody predict the answer? You know, we were taught board mass in school, right?
Okay.
So for those of us that can still remember board mass, tell
Okay.
us.
The answer will be 1.
The answer will be 1.
The answer will be 1.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the execution is that Python will execute what? This first. So this will be what? 1. Let's see. We're trying to analyze how that guy got 1 if the answer will be 1. So this will be first. Then this division section here will be second. Then this here, that is between the value you have here and this, will be the third. Then the minus 3 will be the what? The fourth. So this is the order. So let me run it and see whether he got it. You
Answer should be 5.
Okay, we have got to the real answer. The real answer is what? 7. So who can prove how we got that 7? How we got that 7? Following this order. Following this order. Remember that what? So the order we are following.
Board mass, we have to consider the.
We are hearing.
You have to consider the division first.
Okay.
Division first, then followed by multiplication, then followed by addition. Addition is the last one.
So, but in Python here, Python is using what we call PEMDAS. PEMDAS. Let me write it here. PEMDAS.
This one. That is division.
Justin, come.
This is what Python is for.
Justin.
Now, this one means
yes, it's 7.
parentheses. This means what? Parentheses is what? This. Why this? It means exponential. It means what? Exponential, which we have explained before. Why this M means multiplication. Why this D means division. The A means addition. Of course, the S means subtraction. So this is the algorithm that the flowchart or the format is used to get that setting. All right. So any questions so far? Let me see. So I want us, those of us that are joining with our laptop, to play around this. So just for us to register.
Even if we still use the Bodmans, we still get that 7.
So I was wondering why maybe the other man that did it. So if you use Bodman, can you explain it? Can you explain it?
If we use Bodmans,
Hmm.
we now deal with division first. It will now be 3 divided by 3 will give us 1.
Good.
It will be 3 multiplied by 3 plus 1 minus 3.
Okay.
Then followed by the multiplication, which is 3 multiplied by 3, which will give us 9. It will now be 9 plus 1 minus 3. So then addition will be 9 plus 1, making 10. Then subtraction will be 10 minus 3, give us 7.
You mean it's like you are a mathematician.
I'm an engineer.
You still remember? Okay, that is good. So I just want us to get all these concepts, because they all exist. Any question, please? I think any question first? Any question? Let me see if I can chip in something within the remaining 4 minutes. There's no question. We might go and practice this, because it is very important we understand this. Those that are following and they are not practicing, it's very dangerous. So, because when we get to the complicated aspects, you'll be totally lost. That is just the truth. And that might make you to discontinue the training. That has happened in the past. I don't want anybody to discontinue. Make sure that as basic as all these things that we are doing, sit down and use your hand to do them. Don't assume that he's doing it. It's very simple. Sit down with your whichever ID you are using. Practice them. Like some people are doing, they'll practice it with a Visual Studio Code. They will still go and practice with what? PyCharm. So I just hope that my PyCharm should. It was having issue loading the other time. I don't want it to slow us down. So if it works very well tomorrow, we'll continue with it. Any question?
I think from my end, there's no questions.
Okay, so.
I have a little point to make.
Okay.
My point is this one. After your class, sometimes you take time in dropping this video for us to go and watch on YouTube. And you know, most of us we like to revisit your class. So I'm suggesting try your best and be dropping your video sometimes so that we can be going through it before the next class.
Okay, we move on that. Sometime, we have to convert the video. I think it was the first one that we had that challenge. Second one, the video came that same night. First one, we're having issue. I was having conversion issue. I have to convert it. So the thing was taking time, and I have to shift it to the next day. But I will try. This one, I will try and convert it and send it this night.
Okay, better.
Any other thing I will call it section. So see us tomorrow. So we'll keep advancing. If you can make it, make sure that you don't miss out. And tomorrow I'm going to start with seeing your work. For those of us that are working, please make sure you join on time. Like I was doing before I started, I was trying to ask people what they have done for the first 10 minutes. So please, if you have done something, try to join on time so that we can see it. So I won't be using the main class time. When you join, that is when you want to show us what you have done. All right, good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.